You ever cook something that didn't come out as expected? Me too. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Spencer with Trash Panda Keto Kitchen. Today, there is no video for a recipe. That is right. So we made something this morning that we expected to make for lunch, and I'll tell you what, the picture that was on the internet and what we ended up coming up with were two different things. And so bad recipes happen to good people. It just happens sometimes. And so this video is just going to be about kind of how we come back from it and what the expectations are as we move forward. So one of the things I thought about after we made this particular recipe, and I'm not going to post the recipe, I'm not going to post the website where I found it, because I don't think it's fair, because it didn't meet my expectations on what we wanted to do here. And so thinking about it, I came up with 5 things that we're going to talk about real quick and just kind of go over for us beginners on keto. The first was expectations. Dessert, candy, sweets, what is our expectation and what did we expect to get when we made this recipe? So you'll see on the internet and you'll see on Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube and all these places what the expectation is of what you're getting ready to make and then what you get in reality. So it's an expectation versus reality kind of thing. Keep in mind the pictures that a lot of these people will use in the end are Photoshopped, they're set up, they're staged, they look really good, but then you make it and it doesn't quite come out the way it looks in the pictures. And I think we've all had those recipes where we've tried something and we're like, this isn't even close. That's kind of what happened today. Number 2, time. Everybody's time is important. Whether you're working out of the house or you're fortunate enough to be back at work, everybody's time is valuable these days. And so I look at it that I want recipes that I can do in between 10 and 30 minutes. And so that was the expectation for this recipe. Number 3, ease. Ingredients, follow along, and simple to use. Those are kind of the 3 criteria I use when I start to do recipes and I start to think about what I want to cook and what I want to present on these videos. They kind of got to meet those 3 steps. The 4th is the schedule. What is it for? Is it for dinner, free time, snacks? And most importantly, can it interrupt something? And I say interrupt because this particular recipe that we made was going to be for lunch. I am fortunate in that it's just my wife and I here, and so if a recipe doesn't necessarily come out the way we expect, we can shuffle onto something else, we can get a snack of some sort, and we can replace that lunch with something else. However, if it's a dinner and you really scheduled your dinner and you're a family of say 4, and you make something based upon the picture and based upon the ease of the recipe and it doesn't come out as expected, it's a lot more significant because now you've got other mouths to feed that are really kind of looking at something and it's not a great recipe. Which kind of brings us to our 5th thing, which is cost. As you kind of journey into the keto, you'll find that there are things like almond flour, some of the other baking ingredients like say cacao butter, they get to be a little bit pricey, or I'm not going to say pricey, they become a little bit more expensive than your standard. Almond flour is definitely more expensive than your regular bleached white flour. And so all of those ingredients that you just used to make that dish that was unacceptable are basically down the drain. And so that costs money. And in today's environment, I don't want to waste anybody's money and I don't want to waste my own money. And so when I start to evaluate recipes, I kind of put them on those 5 things. What are my expectations? What is it going to cost me for time? How easy is it? Where does it fit into my schedule? And what is the cost? But the most important thing is that making a bad recipe can be pretty demotivating. It can be demotivating. Let's be honest. You put a little bit of effort into something. You think it's going to be good. You pop it out of the oven, and boom, there it is. And you look at it, and you're like, man, not at all what I expected. I expected that this recipe that we made was going to be actually fairly good. We sat down to eat it, and it was just overpowered with some of the different spices, the way that they had the crust done on it. And it just wasn't good. And so I won't post recipes like that on these videos. My expectation is that when we make something here, I think it's good. It's something that I actually eat. It's something that I enjoy eating, whether it be the chicken pot pies, whether it be the chocolate bars that we made, the Nestle crack bars, whether it be the gummy bears. Everything that we make on this channel are going to be things that I eat on a regular basis. And these are things that have helped me go from 240 pounds down to 198 pounds. I know it's only 42 pounds, but I tell you, it's a life changer as we kind of get moving on these things into more of a healthy lifestyle. So everything you see on this channel are things that we make, and I won't post anything that I don't think meets that criteria of those 5 things we just talked about. I hope that you guys stick around. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe. If you have anything that you'd like to see cooked, let me know, and we'll take a look at some of the different areas that we can find it, and we'll cook it up and leave some comments down below. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.